For the last year and a half, our life has felt like it's been in limbo. We have a cardiology appointment today, and I think I have learned not to go into these expecting too much, but there's still part of me that hopes we'll get a little bit of clarity today. There's been a lot of unknowns during this season. I didn't realize how heavy this has felt until I noticed how tired I am of feeling stuck. I feel like this season has just been a lot of waiting for answers, waiting for the next step, and honestly just trying to make sense of things as we go. There's been a lot of appointments, a lot of conversations, and I think what's been so hard is it never really feels like we leave with clarity. It's more like, we'll keep an eye on it, or we'll see what the next test says, or I don't think that's a neurology problem, I think that's an ortho problem, and then ortho says, I think that's a neuro problem, and then the same thing with cardiology, and it just kind of keeps on going like that. And then at the same time, life is still happening. You still have a home, responsibilities, just everyday things that don't really have a pause while you're in the middle of something like this. So it's been this weird balance of trying to stay present in our day-to-day lives while also having the constant underlying feeling of not really knowing what's going on. I think one of the hardest parts has just been the unknown. Not knowing what's causing certain things, not knowing what the next step is supposed to be, and not really having a clear direction forward yet. We've heard so many times that my husband's symptoms are just so unique and they don't understand what's causing it. But then there's no definite answer, no clarity as to what is actually going on. And I've realized how much I just want answers. I want to understand what's happening. I am a planner. I want to have a plan. And this just hasn't really been that kind of situation. I'm somebody who likes to plan everything. I like things planned out to a T. And while I know life doesn't go according to plan, it is really hard when you are a planner to not know what even the next month of your life might look like. It's really hard to live your life in limbo, and you can't even plan anything because you don't know what's around the corner. We've even paused buying a second car that we really do need, just because we want to make sure we have money in the bank in case my husband gets to a point where he is just not physically able to work anymore, because his pain is pretty significant and he does the absolute best he can. He does not complain, but I do know that there may come a day where he is not able to do that anymore, and I want us to be as prepared as we possibly can. And right now in this season, that means that some things that we need or really want, like buying another house, are on pause for a little while. He's already had multiple tests done, and we were supposed to have a couple more done before this appointment, but that didn't end up working out for us right now, so I really don't know what today's going to look like. Part of me still hopes we'll walk in and something will just click, or we'll be given some direction or next step we can take. But we've become very accustomed to leaving almost every single appointment with hardly any answers. So I know I just have to protect my expectations a little bit, because this has happened before. We walk in hoping for answers and leave still feeling unsure. So I think today is just going to be one of those days, take it as it comes kind of days. Just go, listen, take in whatever we can, and keep moving forward from here. And in the middle of all of it, I'm just trying to stay grounded in the day we're actually in. Not get too far ahead, not overthink everything. Just doing the best we can with what we have. All right, y'all, we're home from the appointment. I've got a few things around the house to do, and then I will meet you guys on the porch and we will discuss what happened at his appointment. So, we're back from the appointment. We didn't get any answers. They wanted to go over a couple more tests he was supposed to have, but unfortunately we were just not able to do the test. So there really wasn't much to discuss. Hey guys, I just wanted to pop in here and clear things up because I don't want there to be any confusion. My husband had multiple tests done, but the two main tests that they wanted to do was a sleep study and a nuclear stress test. He was able to have the other test, but he did not get to do those two. So unfortunately, that's why I just said that there wasn't really much to talk about. We found out a couple small things from the other test, but because he couldn't have the stress test and the sleep study, there was just nothing else that can be done yet. The plan from here is that we're going to call insurance and see if we can find a place that does nuclear stress tests that insurance will cover, because they wanted over $2,000, which is way more than our deductible. So I think it was out of network. So I'm going to call around, see if I can find anywhere that our insurance will cover. And she is going to appeal insurance's denial for the sleep study test. It really just feels like another step without really moving forward. And I guess that's the hardest part, is just being in the season of not knowing. You're waiting, you don't have the answers to things, but life is still happening, even though you feel like you're just frozen in this moment of time. Because there wasn't anything to discuss during the appointment, she did not charge us, which is very kind of her. And that meant a lot, probably more than she realizes. And I'm just holding on to that, knowing that during these moments, even though we're waiting and things can feel really frustrating, that there are still really kind people and that God still shows his grace in situations all the time. I don't know what the next step looks like yet, and we're just trying to take things one thing at a time. If you've ever been in a situation where you're stuck waiting for answers, then you know how heavy this can feel. But for now, we're just going to keep going one day at a time. We know the Lord has a plan for us, and that there's always a reason for the waiting, for the hard seasons. We know he has a plan. We know he's going to work everything out, even if we don't know what it is yet. And we also know that sometimes in life you just don't get answers, and sometimes God chooses not to remove your pain or your afflictions. And sometimes his answer is just, my grace is sufficient for you. And we know, however the situation turned out, he's working it out for us, and it's for our good and his glory. And we just have to remember that even when we can't see the end, that God knows the beginning from the end, and that he has planned out everything perfectly. Just a little update from when I seen you guys on the porch. I have spoken to insurance, and unfortunately those tests are just not an option for us right now. So for now, we're just going to move forward with the information we do have and trust that we are doing everything we can, and that God has got the situation handled for us. It's not the outcome we hoped for, but we're just learning how to live in the middle of it. In the middle of not having all the answers and things not going the way we expected, we're going to keep asking questions and advocating for my husband. And if the doors open later, then we'll walk through them then. But for right now, this is just the season we're in, and we're just learning to take it one day at a time. I do want to thank y'all so much for being there with me through this, and all the prayers. They really just mean so much to both of us, and we just truly thank you from the bottom of our hearts.